Hello and welcome back to the session on the CIS controls. In this lesson we will continue on to Control 3, Data Protection, and the 14 safeguards that are included in this control. The goal of Control 3, Data Protection, is to protect organizational data from unauthorized access, disclosure, modification, or destruction throughout its life cycle. This includes ensuring that sensitive data is securely stored, transmitted, and disposed of, and that it is adequately protected from potential threats, whether those threats come from external attackers or people from within your organization. Key aspects of this control include classifying data, data encryption, access control, data integrity, and data disposal. We will dive further into these aspects within this lesson. Why is CIS Control 3 important? It reduces the risk of data breaches, ensures privacy and compliance, protects against insider threats, maintains data integrity, lessens financial and legal risks, and supports the trust of customers and partners. Let's start learning about each of these safeguards within Control 3. Safeguard 3.1. Establish and maintain a data management process. This falls within the Govern security function and is within Implementation Group 1. This safeguard focuses on the need for an organization to develop and maintain a structured and comprehensive data management process. This process ensures that all organizational data is properly handled throughout its life cycle, from creation and storage to sharing, usage, and eventual disposal. A formalized data management process should include data classification, data handling policies, data protection procedures, data retention and disposal, and regular review. Why is this safeguard important? 1. Ensures data security. A formal data management process helps to protect sensitive data from unauthorized access, modification, or loss by implementing proper handling, encryption, and access controls. This reduces the risk of data breaches and security incidents. 2. Helps with compliance. Many industries are governed by privacy and data protection regulations, for example, GDPR, HIPAA, California Consumer Privacy Act, also known as CCPA, which require organizations to have secure data management practices. A well-defined data management process ensures organizations meet legal requirements and avoid penalties. 3. Reduces risk of data loss. Proper data management practices ensure that data is regularly backed up, monitored, and stored securely. In case of a disaster, breach, or other incidents, the organization can recover critical data without significant loss or downtime. 4. Improves operational efficiency. By establishing clear data management processes, organizations can streamline how data is accessed, used, and disposed of. This reduces inefficiencies, minimizes errors, and ensures that employees have access to the right data when needed. 5. Prevents data redundancy. With a structured data management approach, organizations can avoid redundant or duplicate data entries, which can complicate analysis, lead to inconsistencies, and waste storage resources. The safeguard can also enable better decision-making, mitigate insider threats, facilitate data auditing, and support data minimization. Possible tools to help with this safeguard include data management policy. This outlines how data is handled, managed, and protected across its life cycle. I've included a link to a data management policy template from CI Security. Data classification defines data categories, for example, public, internal, confidential, restricted, and handling rules. And I've included a link to another data classification policy template. The data retention policy specifies how long different data types must be retained and when and how they should be disposed. There's a link to a data retention policy through Secure Frame website. A data handling standard provides detailed procedures for storing, transmitting, and processing data based on classification. A data privacy policy addresses how personal or sensitive data is collected, used, and protected, often for compliance. Information security policy sets overarching requirements for protecting data and systems within the organization. Data inventory and mapping document lists data types, locations, owners, and flow across systems and third parties. Acceptable use policy, or an AUP, governs employee use of systems and data, including restrictions and responsibilities. And a third-party data sharing policy outlines requirements and security expectations when sharing data with external entities. Safeguard 3.2. Establish and maintain a data inventory. This falls under the Identify security function and is within Implementation Group 1. The safeguard focuses on the importance of creating and maintaining an accurate data inventory within an organization. This inventory is a comprehensive, up-to-date record of all data collected, stored, processed, and shared within the organization. The goal is to have visibility over where sensitive data resides, who has access to it, and how it is used. The data inventory typically includes details like the types of data, for example, personal, financial, health-related, data sources, for example, applications, systems, devices, data owners and users, data storage locations, data access permissions. The creation and maintenance of this inventory enables organizations to understand and control their data flow, enforce appropriate access controls, and ensure proper data governance. Why is the safeguard important? 1. Improve data visibility. By maintaining an up-to-date data inventory, an organization gains visibility into the types of data it collects and stores. This visibility is crucial for understanding risks related to sensitive or personal data, helping organizations respond more quickly to potential security incidents or breaches. 2. Compliance with regulations. Many data protection regulations, such as GDPR and CCPA, require organizations to know what personal and sensitive data they have, where it resides, and how it is used. A data inventory supports compliance with these regulations by ensuring that organizations can track and manage data more effectively. 3. Data protection and security. Maintaining a detailed data inventory helps organizations apply the right security measures, such as encryption, access controls, and monitoring, to protect sensitive data. It also makes it easier to identify and remediate security gaps that may exist in data storage or processing. 4. Incident response and recovery. In the event of a data breach or security incident, knowing exactly where sensitive data is stored and who has access to it can significantly speed up the incident response and recovery process. A detailed inventory ensures that organizations can quickly determine which data may be at risk and take appropriate action. 5. Data governance and management. A data inventory is a fundamental component of effective data governance. It enables organizations to manage data assets, define roles and responsibilities, and implement controls that align with organizational policies and regulatory requirements. Proper data management practices ensure that data is only accessed and used by authorized personnel, mitigating the risk of unauthorized access or misuse. 6. Risk management. A data inventory is essential for identifying areas of risk in an organization's data ecosystem. It provides the basis for assessing potential vulnerabilities, ensuring that data is handled according to the organization's risk management framework and that it is appropriately protected. Possible tools to help with this safeguard include Calibra, Alation, OneTrust. Safeguard 3.3. Configure data access control lists. This falls within the Protect Security function and is within Implementation Group 1. The safeguard emphasizes the importance of configuring data access control lists, or ACLs, to restrict access to sensitive or critical data. ACLs are a set of rules that define which users or systems are allowed to access certain resources and what actions they can perform, for example, read, write, execute. By configuring these lists properly, organizations can ensure that only authorized individuals or systems can access or modify specific data. The concept of ACLs is crucial in the context of managing sensitive information and preventing unauthorized access or malicious activity. ACLs can be applied to various systems and services, including network devices, file systems, databases, and applications. They are often configured at multiple layers, such as operating systems, network devices, and cloud environments. Why is this safeguard important? 1. Prevents unauthorized access. Properly configured ACLs help protect data from unauthorized access by ensuring only authorized users can interact with sensitive or critical data. This minimizes the risk of data breaches or unauthorized modifications. 2. Ensures least privilege. Configuring ACLs enables organizations to enforce the principle of least privilege. This means granting users the minimum level of access necessary to perform their duties, which reduces the risk of accidental or intentional misuse of data. 3. Protects data integrity and availability. By limiting who can access and modify data, ACLs help protect the integrity and availability of the data. Unauthorized changes to data can lead to corruption, loss of integrity, and potential downtime. 4. Compliance regulations. Many industries are subject to regulations that require strict controls over data access. Configuring ACLs is an essential part of meeting these regulatory requirements and demonstrating compliance during audits. 5. Mitigates internal threats. ACLs are not only valuable for defending against external threats, but also help mitigate risks posed by insiders, such as employees or contractors who may intentionally or unintentionally access sensitive information They are not authorized to handle. Possible tools to help include Linux or Windows operating system tools such as chmod, chown, setfacl, Windows File Explorer, PowerShell, and Group Policy, and also database management tools. Safeguard 3.4, enforce data retention. This falls within the Protect Security function and is within Implementation Group 1. Enforced data retention focuses on actively implementing and maintaining a system to ensure data is retained only for the necessary duration as required by legal, regulatory, and business needs. The safeguard requires organizations to manage data by setting clear rules on how long different types of data should be kept, ensuring that data retention is enforced consistently across the organization. Enforcing data retention means putting into practice the defined retention timelines, ensuring both minimum and maximum retention periods are adhered to. This involves configuring systems and processes to automatically manage data life cycles, including when data is archived, deleted, or securely destroyed based on its retention timeline. How to enforce data retention. 1. Utilize tools and technologies to enforce retention timelines automatically. Set up systems to trigger the deletion, archiving, or secure destruction of data once it reaches its retention limit, reducing human error and ensuring timely execution. 2. Use data management platforms that can monitor and enforce retention policies. These systems can classify data based on retention requirements, apply retention rules, and take actions like archiving or deleting data when it is no longer needed. 3. Continuously track and audit data to ensure it is being retained according to the established timelines. Regularly check systems to confirm that outdated or unnecessary data is being properly archived or deleted when it reaches its retention period. 4. When data reaches its maximum retention period, ensure it is securely destroyed or anonymized to prevent unauthorized access or recovery. Secure deletion methods should be applied to ensure that data is irrecoverable. 5. Continuously review the effectiveness of the data retention enforcement process. This includes regularly reassessing data retention schedules and retention tools to ensure that they remain in compliance with evolving regulations and business needs. Possible tools to help include Veeam Backup and Replication, Commvault, Digital Guardian, Amazon Web Services or AWS S3 Lifecycle Policies, Microsoft Azure Blob Storage Lifecycle Management, Zerto. Safeguard 3.5, enforce data retention. This falls within the Protect Security function and is within Implementation Group 1. Securely dispose of data focuses on the importance of ensuring that data no longer required for business, legal, or regulatory purposes is securely destroyed to prevent unauthorized access or recovery. Simply deleting or erasing data through basic methods such as sending files to the recycle bin or deleting them from the system does not truly eliminate the data from the system. Sensitive data that is not properly disposed of could potentially be recovered by malicious actors or inadvertently exposed, leading to security breaches, privacy violations, or compliance failures. To securely dispose of data, organizations need to use established methods that ensure data cannot be reconstructed or retrieved. This includes using secure data destruction methods such as overwriting the data multiple times, physically destroying storage media, or using specialized software tools that meet industry standards for data erasure. So how can we securely erase the data? 1. Overwriting data or data wiping. Overwriting data or data wiping involves replacing the original data with random or predefined patterns of data to ensure that the original data cannot be recovered. How this works. Specialized software tools are used to overwrite the storage media multiple times with random or fixed patterns. After the data is overwritten, the original data becomes unrecoverable as it has been replaced with new data. 2. Physical destruction of storage devices. For highly sensitive data, physical destruction of storage media is a highly effective way to ensure that the data is irrecoverable. This method is often used when data is stored on hard drives, magnetic tapes, or other physical media. The physical storage device, for example hard drive, SSD, CD, or tape, is destroyed through methods such as crushing, shredding, incineration, or degaussing. The best methods for destruction are as follows. For shredding, using industrial shredders to physically break down hard drives and other storage devices into small pieces. Crushing, using hard drive crushers to crush and bend the device, making the data on it unrecoverable. Incineration, burning storage devices at high temperatures to destroy them completely. Degaussing, using a strong magnetic field to disrupt the magnetic components of hard drives and tapes, rendering the data unreadable. 3. Encryption before disposal. Encrypting data before it is disposed of adds an extra layer of security. Even if the data is recovered, it will be unreadable without the encryption key. How does this work? You encrypt the data before disposal using strong encryption algorithms such as AES 256. After encryption, the data can be securely wiped and the encryption key can be destroyed. 4. Secure deletion software or software-based data erasure. Using software tools designed specifically for secure deletion is an efficient way to ensure that data is securely erased from a device without leaving traces behind. How does this work? Secure deletion tools overwrite data multiple times before deleting it, following recognized standards like the United States Department of Defense, or DoD, 5220.22-M. These tools can be used on hard drives, SSDs, USB drives, and other storage devices. 5. Cloud data disposal. For organizations that store data in cloud environments, it's essential to follow secure data disposal practices specific to cloud service providers and ensure that data is properly erased from the cloud. How does this work? When using cloud services, follow the provider's guidelines for secure data deletion. Many cloud providers such as AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud have built-in data disposal mechanisms to ensure that data is securely wiped when deleted. Use the provider's features, for example, lifecycle policies, object versioning, to ensure that data is completely deleted from all storage tiers and backups. 6. Disposal of mobile devices and external media. For mobile devices such as smartphones and tablets, and external storage media, such as USB drives, SD cards, etc., it's important to properly wipe or physically destroy the devices to ensure that no sensitive data remains. How it works. Factory reset for mobile devices. A factory reset wipes all data from the device, but this is not always enough to prevent recovery. For higher security, consider using specialized mobile wiping software. Use tools that ensure complete wiping of external media like USB drives and SD cards. Physical destruction. As with other devices, physically destroying USB drives and SD cards, for example by crushing or shredding them, ensures that no data is recoverable. Possible tools to help. Overwriting tools include Blanco, Drive Eraser, CC or C Cleaner, DBAN. Physical destruction by using Garner HD-2XT Degausser, Proton PDS-75 Destroyer, Iron Mountain. Encryption tools such as VeraCrypt, BitLocker, FileVault for macOS. Cloud data, Amazon S3 Lifecycle Rules, Google Cloud Data Lifecycle Management, Microsoft Azure Data Lifecycle Management. Mobile and external media tools include iShredder for Android and iOS, WipeDrive Mobile, KillDisk. Safeguard 3.6. Encrypt data on end-user devices. This falls within the Protect Security function and is within Implementation Group 1. The safeguard requires organizations to encrypt sensitive data stored on end-user devices, such as laptops, smartphones, and tablets. Encryption is the process of converting data into a coded format that can only be read by someone who has the correct decryption key. End-user devices are often mobile and more vulnerable to loss or theft. If unencrypted, data on these devices can be easily accessed by anyone who gains physical possession of the device. Encrypting the data ensures that even if a device is lost, stolen, or accessed by unauthorized individuals, the data remains protected and unreadable without the encryption key. This safeguard is especially important when the devices are used to store or access sensitive information such as personal data, intellectual property, financial records, or company secrets. Why is this safeguard important? 1. Protects data in case of loss or theft. Laptops and smartphones are frequently lost or stolen. Encryption ensures that the data on these devices is not accessible by unauthorized users. 2. Helps meet compliance requirements. Many laws and regulations such as GDPR, HIPAA, and PCI DSS require the protection of sensitive data. Encryption helps organizations meet these requirements and avoid penalties. 3. Mitigates insider and physical threats. Even if someone has physical access to a device, encryption prevents them from reading the contents without proper authorization, reducing risk from insiders. 4. Enables safe remote work and mobility. As more employees work remotely, devices travel with them outside secure office environments. Encryption protects data wherever the device goes. Possible tools to help include Windows BitLocker, Apple FileVault, Linux DMCrypt, VeraCrypt, Symantec Endpoint Encryption, Microsoft Intune. Safeguard 3.7. Establish and maintain a data classification scheme. This falls within the Identify Security function and is within Implementation Group 2. This safeguard calls for organizations to develop and maintain a data classification scheme, a structured system for labeling data based on its sensitivity, value, and impact if exposed or compromised. A data classification scheme helps organizations understand what types of data they have, where it resides, and how it should be protected. Common classifications include categories like public, internal use only, confidential, restricted, secret, top secret. Categories will differ depending on the country and whether your organization is in government or the private sector. Once in place, the scheme will allow organizations to apply appropriate security controls based on data sensitivity, such as encryption, access restrictions, or stricter monitoring. Why is this safeguard important? 1. Ensures consistent data protection. Not all data needs the same level of protection. Classification helps apply the right controls to the right data, avoiding both under and over protection. 2. Supports compliance with regulations. Data classification helps identify regulated data, for example, personal data under GDPR, healthcare records under HIPAA, making it easier to meet legal and contractual obligations. 3. Improves risk management. Understanding which data is most sensitive allows organizations to prioritize security efforts and resources accordingly. 4. Enables better access control. Classifying data makes it easier to define who should have access to what, helping prevent unauthorized access to sensitive information. 5. Supports incident response. When a breach or data loss occurs, knowing the classification of affected data helps determine the severity and response requirements. Possible tools to help: New Zealand Protective Security Requirements, or PSR, Australian Government Security Classification System, or AGSCS, USA Executive Order 13526 for classified national security information. Safeguard 3.8 documents data flows. This falls within the Identify Security function and is within Implementation Group 2. Documenting data flows means creating a detailed map or diagram that shows how data moves through an organization's systems. This includes understanding and recording how data is collected, stored, processed, transferred, accessed, or deleted. A data flow diagram, or a DFD, or data flow map, should illustrate how information flows between different systems, departments, users, and external entities, such as third-party vendors or cloud services. By documenting these flows, organizations can track where sensitive or regulated data is at all times and ensure that appropriate security controls are in place to protect it. Why is this safeguard important? 1. Improved data visibility. Knowing where data is at all times is crucial for security. Data flow documentation helps organizations understand the full life cycle of data from creation to disposal. It enables organizations to detect and address any potential vulnerabilities or gaps in their data security. 2. Enhance risk management. By understanding how data moves across systems, organizations can identify critical points where sensitive data could be at risk, such as during transmission over unsecure channels, or when it's stored in weakly protected locations. Documentation helps in risk assessments by highlighting which data processes need more robust controls. 3. Better incident response. If a data breach or security incident occurs, having a clear record of data flows allows organizations to quickly assess the scope of the breach and determine which data or systems were affected. This helps in identifying the root cause of a security incident. 4. Compliance and legal requirements. Many data privacy regulations require organizations to know where their data is stored, how it's processed, and who has access to it. Documenting data flows helps ensure compliance with these regulations. It also helps prove compliance to auditors or regulatory bodies, as organizations can show that they are actively monitoring and securing their data processes. 5. Streamlined data protection. Data flow diagrams help determine which security controls need to be implemented at specific points in the flow. For example, encryption during transmission, access controls at storage locations, audit logging for sensitive data access. This ensures that sensitive data is protected consistently at every stage of its life cycle. Possible tools to help include Microsoft Visio, Lucidchart, Draw.io, Microsoft Threat Modeling Tool. Safeguard 3.9 Encrypt data on removable media. This falls under the Protect Security function and is within Implementation Group 2. The safeguard requires organizations to encrypt sensitive data stored on removable media such as USB drives. Encryption is the process of converting data into a coded format that can only be read by someone who has the correct decryption key. Removable media are often mobile and more vulnerable to loss or theft. If unencrypted, data on these devices can be easily accessed by anyone who gains physical possession of the device. Encrypting the data ensures that even if a device is lost, stolen, or accessed by unauthorized individuals, the data remains protected and unreadable without the encryption key. The safeguard is especially important when the devices are used to store or access sensitive information such as personal data, intellectual property, financial records, company secrets, or personal health information. Why is this safeguard important? 1. Protects data in case of loss or theft. Laptops, smartphones, and USB drives are frequently lost or stolen. Encryption ensures that the data on these devices is not accessible to unauthorized users. 2. Helps meet compliance requirements. Many laws and regulations require the protection of sensitive data. Encryption helps organizations meet these requirements and avoid penalties. 3. Mitigates insider and physical threats. Even if someone has physical access to a device, encryption prevents them from reading the contents without proper authorization, reducing risk from insiders. 4. Enables safe remote work and mobility. As more employees work remotely, devices travel with them outside secure office environments. Encryption protects data wherever this device goes. Possible tools to help include Windows BitLocker to go, Kangaroo, IronKey, Data Locker, Verbatim. Safeguard 3.10 encrypts sensitive data in transit. This falls within the Protect security function and is within Implementation Group 2. Encrypting sensitive data in transit refers to the practice of protecting data as it moves across networks or between systems by using encryption technologies. The safeguard ensures that data being transmitted, whether between devices, servers, applications, or across the internet, cannot be easily intercepted, read, or tampered with by unauthorized parties. Sensitive data in transit might include personally identifiable information or PII, financial data, health records, login credentials, confidential business information. Encryption transforms the data into an unreadable format using cryptographic algorithms. Only authorized parties with the correct decryption key can convert it back to its original readable form. Why is the safeguard important? 1. Protection against eavesdropping and man-in-the-middle or MITM attacks. When data is transmitted over networks, it can be intercepted by malicious actors. This is especially a concern in untrusted environments like public internet or Wi-Fi networks. Encryption ensures that even if an attacker intercepts the data, it will be unreadable without the proper decryption key. 2. Confidentiality of sensitive information. Encryption ensures that information remains confidential, protecting both the privacy of individuals and the business interests of organizations. Without encryption, sensitive data sent across networks can be exposed to unauthorized access, which could lead to data breaches or misuse. 3. Compliance with regulations. Many data protection regulations require that sensitive data be encrypted when it is transmitted over networks. By encrypting data in transit, organizations can help ensure they meet the legal requirements for safeguarding sensitive information. Encryption also demonstrates that an organization is taking the necessary steps to protect personal and financial data, which is critical for maintaining regulatory compliance. 4. Data integrity. Encryption helps ensure that the data sent over the network is not altered during transit. In addition to confidentiality, many encryption protocols, such as TLS, or Transport Layer Security, provide mechanisms to verify the integrity of the data, ensuring it has not been tampered with by unauthorized parties. This is crucial for ensuring that the data received is the same as the data originally sent, without modification or corruption. 5. Trust and reputation. When an organization encrypts sensitive data in transit, it builds trust with customers, partners, and other stakeholders by showing a commitment to data security. On the other hand, failing to protect sensitive data during transit can lead to reputation damage, especially in the event of a data breach. Possible tools to help include TLS, or Transport Layer Security version 1.2 or 1.3, IPsec, or Internet Protocol Security, SFTP, or Secure File Transfer Protocol, SMIME, or Secure Multipurpose Internet Mail Extensions, and PGP, or Pretty Good Privacy. Safeguard 3.11 encrypts sensitive data at rest. This falls within the Protect security function and is within Implementation Group 2. Encrypting sensitive data at rest refers to the practice of securing data stored on physical devices such as hard drives, servers, databases, or cloud storage by encrypting it. When data is at rest, it is not actively being transmitted but is instead stored for future use. This could be any kind of sensitive data, including personal identifiable information or PII, financial records, trade secrets, or confidential business information. Encryption transforms the data into an unreadable format using cryptographic algorithms. This ensures that even if unauthorized individuals gain physical access to the storage media, for example by stealing a hard drive or hacking into a cloud environment, that they cannot read or use the data without the proper decryption key. Why is this safeguard important? 1. Protects against data breaches. If sensitive data is stored in unencrypted form and the device or server where it's stored is compromised, for example stolen or accessed without authorization, attackers can easily access and misuse the data, Encryption ensures that even if attackers gain access to the storage, the data remains protected and unreadable without the correct decryption key. 2. Safeguards against physical theft. Data at rest can be vulnerable to physical theft, especially on portable devices such as laptops or USB drives, or improperly disposed storage media. Encrypting sensitive data on these devices ensures that even if they are lost or stolen, the data remains secure. 3. Meets regulatory and compliance requirements. Many regulations and standards require that sensitive data be encrypted both in transit and at rest to ensure data protection and privacy. By encrypting data at rest, organizations can help ensure compliance with these legal and regulatory obligations. 4. Reduces the risk of data misuse. Data that is left unencrypted at rest is an easy target for malicious actors or insiders who might attempt to misuse it. Encryption provides a safeguard against unauthorized access, helping to mitigate risks associated with data misuse or accidental exposure. 5. Protects data integrity. Encryption also ensures the integrity of data by making it harder for attackers to modify or tamper with the data while it is stored. This is crucial for maintaining the authenticity and trustworthiness of the data. Possible tools to help include BitLocker, FileVault, TDE or Transparent Data Encryption, AWS SEC or S3 Server-Side Encryption, Azure Disk Encryption. Safeguard 3.12 Segment data processing and storage based on sensitivity. This falls within the Protect Security function and is within Implementation Group 2. Segmentation of data processing and storage based on sensitivity means organizing and storing sensitive data in a way that restricts access to only those who need it, and ensuring that such data is handled and processed in a more secure manner than less sensitive data. The principle behind the safeguard is to apply differing levels of security controls based on the classification or sensitivity of the data. Organizations should categorize their data based on its level of sensitivity, for example, public, confidential, highly confidential, etc., and then apply appropriate security controls depending on the classification. For example, highly sensitive data such as financial data, personal identifiable information, or health data may require stronger encryption, limited access controls, and segregated storage. Less sensitive data may not require such stringent security measures but still needs to be protected by basic access controls. Data segmentation also involves placing sensitive data on isolated networks or using dedicated systems where appropriate in order to minimize the risk of exposure or compromise. Why is a safeguard important? 1. Minimize risk of data exposure. By segmenting data based on its sensitivity, an organization reduces the chances of highly sensitive data being exposed or accessed by unauthorized individuals or compromised systems. Sensitive data is isolated in environments that require additional security measures. 2. Compliance with regulations. Many industry regulations and standards require that sensitive data be isolated and protected according to its classification. Failure to segment and secure sensitive data appropriately can lead to non-compliance and potentially costly penalties. 3. Reduces attack surface. Data segmentation helps limit the scope of damage in the event of a breach. By segmenting sensitive data, an attacker who compromises a less sensitive system won't automatically gain access to more sensitive data stored on other systems. 4. Better incident response and recovery. When sensitive data is properly segmented, security incidents can be isolated, making it easier to manage and contain the damage. For instance, if a breach occurs in a less sensitive segment, it can be quickly contained without affecting the more sensitive segment. 5. Optimize security measures. Different types of data can have different security needs. Sensitive data may require more intensive security controls, for example, end-to-end encryption, multi-factor authentication, network isolation, whereas less sensitive data might only require basic protections such as strong passwords or basic access controls. By segmenting data, you can apply the right level of security measures where they are needed most. Possible tools or techniques to help include VLANs or virtual local area networks, firewalls, Cisco ACI or application-centric infrastructure, VMware NSX, Illumio. Safeguard 3.13 Deploy a data loss prevention solution. This falls within the Protect Security function and is under Implementation Group 3. Deploying a data loss prevention or DLP solution is a critical safeguard that aims to prevent unauthorized access, use, or transmission of sensitive data. A DLP solution monitors and controls data movement across an organization's network, endpoints, and storage systems to ensure that sensitive information is not leaked, exposed, or mishandled. A DLP solution works by identifying and classifying sensitive data, enforcing policies to restrict data access, and monitoring user behavior to detect potentially risky actions. It can block, alert, or log actions related to the movement of sensitive data, such as emails, uploads, or copying to unauthorized storage locations. DLP solutions can be deployed at multiple levels. For endpoint protection, it monitors and controls data movement on endpoints like laptops, desktops, and mobile devices. For network protection, it monitors and controls data in transit over the network, including email communications, file transfers, and cloud services. For cloud protection, it ensures that sensitive data stored in cloud environments is appropriately secured and not shared or exposed without authorization. Why is this safeguard important? 1. Prevents data breaches. DLP solutions help mitigate the risk of sensitive data being leaked outside the organization, whether by accidental sharing or by malicious intent. For example, blocking unauthorized file uploads to external storage systems can prevent valuable data from leaving the corporate network. 2. Ensures compliance. Many industries are subject to regulations which mandate the protection of sensitive data. A DLP solution can help organizations adhere to these compliance requirements by ensuring that sensitive data is properly handled and protected from unauthorized access. 3. Reduces insider threats. Not all data leaks are caused by external attackers. Insiders, such as employees or contractors, can be a risk as well. A DLP solution can monitor for unusual data access patterns, such as the bulk downloading of sensitive data, which might indicate potential malicious activity from insiders. 4. Enhances data visibility. DLP solutions provide organizations with visibility into how sensitive data is used, accessed, and shared across the network. This visibility can help detect potential security risks and improve data management practices. 5. Protects intellectual property. For organizations that deal with intellectual property or trade secrets, DLP helps safeguard against leakage or critical business information, protecting competitive advantage and innovation. Possible tools to help include Semantic Data Loss Prevention, or DLP, Digital Guardian, Forcepoint, Proofpoint, BitGlass. Safeguard 3.14, Log Sensitive Data Access. This falls within the Detect Security function and is under Implementation Group 3. Log sensitive data access involves creating and maintaining logs that record when sensitive data is accessed, by whom, and for what purpose. The safeguard is essential for tracking the movement and usage of sensitive information, ensuring accountability and identifying potential security incidents or breaches. A log captures various types of events related to sensitive data access, including user access details, data access time, data access type, access location, context of access. Why is this important? 1. Detects unauthorized access. Continuous logging allows security teams to monitor and detect unauthorized or suspicious access to sensitive data. It helps identify potentially malicious activities such as unauthorized users trying to view or manipulate sensitive information. 2. Accountability and traceability. When access to sensitive data is logged, it establishes accountability. If sensitive data is compromised, organizations can investigate the logs to determine who accessed the data, what actions they took, and whether those actions were legitimate. This traceability is essential for understanding and responding to data breaches. 3. Forensic investigation. In the event of a data breach, having logs of sensitive data access can support forensic investigations. Security teams can analyze logs to trace the actions leading up to the breach, helping to identify the root cause, affected data, and individuals involved. 4. Compliance and auditing. Many regulations require organizations to log access to sensitive data to ensure it is adequately protected. Having detailed access logs is essential for audit purposes and proves that an organization is taking appropriate measures to safeguard sensitive information. 5. Incident response and monitoring. Logging helps in real-time monitoring of data access patterns, enabling security teams to respond quickly to incidents. For example, if an employee accesses sensitive data outside of their normal work scope, security teams can investigate the irregularity and take corrective actions immediately. Other reasons why the safeguards are important include preventing insider threats, risk management, and improves data protection. Possible tools to help include Splunk, Microsoft Sentinel, Windows Event Viewer, and Audit Policies, Syslog. In this lesson you have learnt the 14 safeguards included in CIS Control 3, Data Protection, the implementation group of each safeguard, and possible tools to use within each safeguard. In the next lesson I'll take you into Control 4, Secure Configuration of Enterprise Assets and Software, including the recommended safeguards in this control, the implementation group of the safeguards, and some recommendations on tools you may use to help in implementing the safeguards. I look forward to you joining me in the next lesson as we continue discovering the CIS controls. Thank you.